Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back from the MLG studios in New York City. I'm Axel Toss. I'm joined by Axlab. It's day 3, aka Day Awesome. We have Zest versus Life as the first match of the day. Zest playing some crafty, very solid PvZ to take out Life in game 1. It's on the verge of advancing on to the round of 8. Life must win 2 in a row.
That's right, here in the upper left-hand corner. Defeated Zest in day 1, 2-1, but now down 0-1. The red Zerg representing StarTale, it is Life. And of course his opponent in the bottom right-hand location, the blue Protoss. Representing KT Rolster up 1-0, he is Zest.
What excited me the most about that last game is just how important it can be in StarCraft 2, especially in tournaments, to play your opponent, to kind of identify their play style, identify their history, your history playing with them, identify what they've done in the past and how you can adjust to get a little edge. And I feel like that's exactly what happened there in game 1. Zest knew about this strategy from Life and then decided to pretty much directly counter it by going for a very fast Colossi, getting a very safe third base. So I'm wondering, Life is the guy down 0-1. He needs to win 2 in a row. How does he kind of adjust?
Well, you know what's interesting, of course, this is the map that in the last series Zest went for that cannon rush.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, it was opposite spawn, so he was going down here.
Yep.
But what's really interesting is Life tried to basically blind counter the guy who's going to blind cannon rush by going to 10 pool. And hoping that Zest would just be building the cannons blind, and then the Zerglings would just run up, show up his base, and he'd lose the game. But Zest got there, he saw the lack of a hatchery, and he was like, wait a minute, something's going on. So he went in and scouted Life, saw the temple coming up, and his defense is already up and solid. Now, of course, Life has been joining behind us. He went and got the hatchery. So it's not like Life is hopelessly behind or anything. But Zest does have a nice small lead here, just from kind of getting the edge in that little mind game duel they had there.
Nice. Little intricacies in StarCraft 2 happens all the time. We also have a sneaky probe there on the left-hand side of the map there from Zest, so we'll have to see what he intends to do with that. I mean, it's on his side of the map, so I'm a little bit intrigued. Maybe he's just taking a vacation on the beach.
Yeah, it could be like later on he'll build pylons. One of the responses a lot of people do enjoy against someone who does a temple and doesn't work out is you're thinking, okay, they're going to be joining greedily behind us. They're probably going to delay their gas and just focus on minerals. And so sometimes going for like an early, swarp in 4 to 8 zealots and send them at him can really catch a Zerg player off guard. And it's a way to kind of try to stop them from catching back up in a game by going mass
simply
rounds.
like kind of hiding the zealots, like warping them all on the left-hand side and then sending them in.
Yeah, or he might even build a pylon further up if he thinks he can get away with it. We'll have to wait and see, of course. I mean, the Psycho's not even done yet, so nothing's going to happen super soon.
Yep. See the probe now heading up into the top left, so definitely keep an eye on that guy. Now, as this moves forward, any crazy advantages? I mean, obviously the 10 pool, you're making all those links earlier, which could have been drones, but it's not amazingly significant. Ooh, as these links find this probe.
Yeah, it looks like they just wanted to scout with this probe, not hide any buildings.
So from here, I mean, are we going to see these players make any crazy decisions based off what happened in the past 6 minutes?
I've like almost never seen Zest do a crazy decision based on anything.
Yeah, fair enough.
Zest is like the definition of the super solid Protoss, and we see, he's doing the exact same opening that he really loves. Of course, the early Nexus, followed by the Stargate. We'll see some Phoenixes most likely, and then fun up with Gateways, a Robo, and of course a third base later on. Life, on the other hand, he's the guy who's super versatile. He'll do a lot of crazy stuff. So. That's of course why Zest has been super diligent in scouting. I mean, he scouted after he built the Forge this game, and then even hid the probe and scouted again. So he took a small economic loss in both those cases, basically to really make sure he knows what Life is up to, because Life is a guy that if you don't know what he's up to, you will get punished for that.
For now, it looks like Life is just making drones. He hasn't made any committed decision. Looks like he's skipping the Roach Horn, which is something that some Zerg players have been doing if they're not expecting any of that gateway aggression. Layer right away with the gas that Life has accumulated. And of course we see Zest going for the Phoenixes. So question in my mind, it's Belshear Vestige. It's going to be all about taking that third base for Zest. That's kind of been what it's been about. Now, Zest last game, if you remember, he went for the faster Colossus. Will he do that this game? And is Life kind of expecting that? And does Life has something up his sleeve to potentially take advantage of Zest if he goes that path.
Well, we're already seeing Life do a little bit of a different build. You know, last game he didn't get the Roach Warren for quite a long time. You know, saved all those resources for that Hydra push. And I think he got the Roach Warren around when he was teching Hive last game, for example, because at that point he wanted to add Roaches into Army once he knew, you know, Colossi were on the field. This game, though, he's already got the Roach Warren under construction. Again, a single Evo, so we can upgrade, you know, the ranged weapons on, of course, the Roaches and Hydralisk. Again, Zest is able to get one of the Queens, which is actually a pretty nice pickoff. It really slows down the creep spread of the Zerg.
Taking out some drones too. Again, this is very standard Zest style, and we see Life going for the Roach speed.
Yeah. So this is pretty interesting.
He could just do like a big Roach push and just skip Hydras.
You know, and he's also building 2 Queens right now. We'll see if he continues to build Queens. He's not pushing creep out super aggressively.
Right.
But for example, in game 1 of the series yesterday, the game that Life lost,
that
actually.
was an awesome game.
Yeah, he went for, I mean, it was a map where you could really get the creep across the map super fast,
Yeah.
of course, Polar Knight. But he may do that Mass Queen Roach attack on the third base.
So I have a question. Now I remember that game yesterday, but I really would like to rewatch it. Is there a way to do that?
I believe there is. You fire up your favorite browser, go to that address bar, type in www.youtube.com/official MLGSC2.
Thank you.
Or official, yeah.
No, that's right.
Yeah. I made my dad doubt myself for a second there.
No, I'm not sure if it's right. If you guys want to make sure, head on over to youtube.com/official MLGSC2 free VODs and 1080p of all the games you might have missed of our coverage of IEM New York City. So, from here, we got Life sprinting across the map with some Lings. Does not want this third going up. That probe is sorry about his life. Ling's going to back up. Mission accomplished. Just looking for that probe. These sentries have to be careful. A lot of Zealots there.
Yeah.
Hold on. What is Zest up to?
You know, I think he just wants to take the third base, but this is something he did actually in Game 1 in the earlier series against Life. If he sees the Zerg player getting Roaches, he adds 2 additional gateways here before he takes a third base. He's a super
and he
super
squeezes
safe.
out an Immortal. I don't think he did that in the last game.
Exactly.
But he did do that in this game.
This is a reaction to seeing the Roach Warren, knowing the opponent isn't going straight to Hydralisk. The
cool.
Colossus is slightly delayed. I mean, you see the first one is halfway out. Last game was already out maybe 30, 40 seconds ago. Just small adjustments in his play. And you know, Life doesn't have an insane drone count. So even though Zest is delaying his third, it's in reaction to the way Life is playing. This is kind of what Zest does. Zest never really tries to get a, like, he never tries to take risks to get a big advantage. He says, okay, if you're building earlier units, I'm just going to delay my third base. If you're going, like, if he was going straight to, like, 80 drones, Zest would take the third base faster. He really uses the Phoenix to play a very reactionary build, making subtle changes in the order in which he does things, although he's still heading in the same direction, of course, towards his Colossus and then later on Templar.
So Life not doing a mega big push at his opponent's third. Instead, droning up quite a bit. His Hive is already almost done in 12 minutes. Great. Also has that 4th hatchery going down his right-hand side. So it's like very macro-oriented. Nice force shields there from Zest, able to scoop up a lot of those Zerglings. Viper's already on the way. So Life deciding, okay, I'm not going to go for this big push. I'm just going to set up my late-game composition. You talked about that timing yesterday when he should have been, or sorry, yesterday, last game where he should have maxed. And now he's actually going to be maxed around that point because he didn't do that earlier attack. So we'll have to see how he kind of uses that to his advantage.
Yeah, I mean, the last game, Zest just slaughtered that attack. It wasn't even a question. This game, if Life goes for a similar timing, it's going to be much, much, much closer. We can see he's at 160 supply, and his Vipers haven't even quite popped out yet. And, of course, if you want to just devote yourself to building nothing but Roaches, you'll max out very quickly as a Zerg. Actually, he went up to near 80 drones, so that's a little bit too many drones to really have the super strong max army if you want to go for that big smash attack. Normally, the Zerg stops at 65, 70 drones.
Right.
So it could be Life, instead of trying to end the game with that Viper timing, he'll still probably go for it, but it'll be more into the idea of let's trade some units, keep the supplies low so my Roach army doesn't become obsolete.
Just be cost efficient.
Yeah.
Not necessarily try to
or even cost even because he has 80, he has so much economy. If he's cost even, he's actually winning because he has a greater economy.
Life always having a backup plan here. Viper coming forward. He sees a point rate.
You know, Zest actually, okay, he still has Templar. I was going to say, he needs Templar against these Vipers. Just warped in 3.
Forge getting targeted down. It's going to be very annoying. A couple Lings going to run on in there. Zest trying to decide how he wants to engage this. Vipers staying back. They don't want to get fed back by those High Templar. Of course, looking for those Colossi. That's going to be the goal here from Life. Behind this again, that 4th base is saturated, so looking for those even trades. He has a great economy behind this, but Can he pull any of those Colossi?
Oh!
Question. Great feedbacks there from Zest on top of his High Templar control, turning those High Templar into an Archon. Another Colossus coming out, and Life is going to be very sad.
Yeah, he has to build 3 more Vipers. That was a disaster for Life. They're not quite careful enough with the range of or the Viper to Templar ratio. And one thing I want to point out about Zest is how like super reactionary he is. I mean, if you notice last game, he went straight to charge and just mass charge lots. Right, and that was in reaction to the Life going very Hydra heavy, of course, in later mid, which is yeah, exactly. And in this game, of course, he never got charged. He went straight for Blink instead, and of course, he's still gonna have Zealots because you're gonna have a lot of extra minerals. But he does have more Stalkers at this point in the game. For example, last game he had almost no Stalkers until he was closing on to max, and he warped in a lot more. But this game, he's a little bit more of a well-balanced army. Loses his 1 Forge during that engagement at the front, but just rebuilds 2. So his level 2 weapons was canceled, and that definitely set him back a bit. But he's still looking in pretty decent shape, and I love what Life's doing this time. Not just going for Corruptors, knowing that, that Corruptor, Viper, Roach, Hydra army, it may be as good against 130, 140 supply, Protoss Death Ball, but Zest is already maxed. He's definitely going to need Broodlords if he wants to really take out this army.
Yeah, some good timing here, though. He's trying to hit before the Broodlords come out. Of course, I don't even know if he knows about the Greater Spire. He might have an inkling. Of course, Zest is good enough where he probably does know about it, but yeah, he saw the Hive.
He sees the Hive. Well, I mean, he knows Vipers. He sees Corruptors.
So he should have
It's a possibility, yeah.
But it's not really taking any convincing advancements across the map. However, something might have just triggered me. He might have triggered me there. He's like, all right, actual toss. I'll attack. Don't worry. So now he's going to advance up to the right-hand side. But Life is about to have Broodlords on the way, and Broodlords are going to be great.
Now, I think... great yoinks there.
3 Colossi abducted there from Life, taking Zest off guard. High Templars throwing down the Storms, and now the Zealot's going to be charging for it. Of course, Life going to look to take out the Colossi, change those Corruptors into Broodlords eventually. The Greater Spire is done, so he has the flexibility to do that. He's going to remain max. 24 Roaches in production. Zest trying to get a bunch of damage done. Great High Templar Storm there onto the Corruptors. Every one of those you kill, it's going to be fewer Broodlords. So that's going to be very important for Zest. Taking out that force base on the right-hand side. But Life, he's staying max. He's slowly taking out this army, so I don't see Life dying to this. The question is Zest going to be happy enough with this trade?
The Spore Crawlers get the Colossi. Zest did take out the base. He has a lot of Zealots coming in. He may be to just keep pushing forward. Life is remaxing fast. Yeah, but it's all on Roaches. I think, all the Corruptors went down, which I don't think Life really wanted. Oh, great Force Fields. Oh, but there's no Observer. Wow. I think it was sniped by the Spore Crawlers during that battle, maybe the Corruptors. Yeah, that would have been probably game. Life would have, or Zest would have been strong enough.
Now, Zest can't really go forward either.
Now there's an Observer.
The Roach can just jump forward. There we go. There's the Burrow. Nice abduct there onto the Colossus. Life still being mildly cost efficient. The Colossus barely getting taken out there. Zealot's still trying to pursue those Roaches across the map, but Zest is a little bit wounded in battle. A lot of his army has been decimated, so he's going to back up a little bit, and now he's deciding where he wants to go. Life going to scurry a couple Roaches there to the left-hand side, check on the progress of that fourth base and just be annoying. Meanwhile, Zest, his plan from here, attack that base on the left-hand side. Life still has yet to get any Broodlords on the field.
Yeah, Zest hasn't really given him the time or the space to do so. Just continues to attack, forcing him to make Roaches and Hydras, of course, aren't going to be super cost-efficient. And their economies are roughly even now that the right side base of Life was taken out, and Zest has his own fourth base up.
Close. Zest is on creep, and now Life is mixing in more Hydras now that a lot of the Colossi are gone. One more Colossi remaining, but Life going to sprint forward and target that Colossus down. Good micro there from Zest, going to back that guy up, but look at the entire ground army of Zest. You can't look at it because it's gone. Life able to clean it up very nicely. Nice Colossi micro there, picking him up into the Warfers, and that's actually going to make this push a little bit more effective there for Zest.
Meanwhile, these 2 Roaches is doing insane amounts of damage there to Zest's economy. Both players have taken some beatings on the economic front, but that, of course, is going to leave Life a little bit ahead in economy, and Zest has forced it back up. Now, this game is getting actually super intense. I mean, Life hasn't been able to get those Broodlords, so Zest is going to have the slightly stronger composition, but in the lower numbers, Roaches and Hydras actually do pretty okay. So as long as things stay low, this Colossus...
Yes, it's happening, ladies and gents. We got Colossi drops going on. Day 3, IEM New York City, MajorLeagueGaming.com. Life going to be swinging around here left-hand side, and Zest going to retreat with this Colossus, trying to target that guy down. He gets taken out. Nice control there from Life. Zest, it's so important he protects his space on the left-hand side. Here comes that hero Colossus from before, and Zest is going to start getting really fancy with that micro. It's going to get even fancier, and Life is going to back up.
Yeah, Life, of course, forced retreat continues to reinforce with just pure roaches here. And I think that's the right call. When you're in small, scrappy battles, 1 or 2 Broodlords, a couple Stalkers will take that out easily. So you need the more mobile roaches where you can choose your battles. Mixing in a Viper too could be big. Oh no, the Hero Colossus!
Oh, need a feedback.
No, the poor
abducted,
guy.
and Colossus is gone. If the War Prison just stayed next to the Viper, that would have been interesting.
Oh
right
yeah,
when he
because
picked
the
it- right when he
roaches.
abducts it, he just picks it on a.
There's no anti-air, right? There's no Hydras here.
Exactly, but Life
so many roaches.
He's looking really good right now. He's being very aggressive towards the space on the left-hand side, just overwhelming his opponent with roaches, and Zest is having trouble coming up with an answer.
Oh, he is a Templar, not quite getting Storm. 72 energy, 73 energy. One goes down, 74 energy, 75. And it goes down right as he gets energy for Storm. Zest warping Dark Templar. He needs to save this Nexus.
That's
important
fantastic.
to note.
If there's no Overseers here.
Yeah, his natural is pretty much mined out. Oh, yeah, losing that 4th is huge. But if he can take out Life's 4th, it's 3 base to 3 base. All of a sudden it's equal again. That 4th is going to go. Oh.
Colossus. Oh my God. He's
wow,
like,
that guy has the wrong rally point there. Meanwhile, focusing on Dark Templar, of course, is Zest gets it.
Though.
Oh no, can you get him out? Can you get him out? Oh no, they're going to be taken out. Still a worthwhile trade, but...
Colossus, go home.
Well...
He drank too much water, that Colossus.
He definitely drank
Way
too much water.
Too much water.
Did not go home. Needed to go home here. We do have Life with a massive supply advantage, even though he's only on 3 bases. He's coming here. A feedback on the Viper. That was nice. There's no Overseers quite yet. There they're coming in. DTs are going to go down. Immortals surrounded.
There it is.
Wow.
Life finds a way. He finds a way. Tying up the series 1-1, and that was a fun game.
Yeah, you know, that game almost, the way Life played there, kind of reminded me of like the old school Stefano, where you're kind of going for the high-tech army.
Yeah.
But if the Protoss goes for a timing and it gets scrappy, the best
overwhelmed.
Yeah, the best scrappy unit is the Roach. I mean, cost for cost, it will beat most Gateway units if there's no like force fields or mass AoEs. But in the smaller battles, those things aren't as applicable. They can't reinforce those energy units and get their energy fast. So Life knowing that he had that window to just spam roaches at Zest, and that late in the game, you can't lose the 4th base.
Yeah, great control there from Life. He had to make so many great decisions, so many clutch plays. That could have gone either way throughout that entire game. So well played there from Life. He's going to tie up this series 1-1. Again, guys, day 3, IEM New York City. We're in the group stages. This is the final match of Group A. It's Life versus Zest. The final game is coming up next. It's going to decide who's going to move on in IEM New York City and who's going home. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.